Good.
So them put you in the same box today. Listeners, we suffered a lightning strike last Wednesday at the height of the election coverage. Everything fried. Camera fried, TV fried. Well, I can't 20 TV them fry. That yours and this one. Yeah. So we had 3 TVs working. 2 of them fry. 1 barely hang on. And yeah, so boy, these are the last days here. So it look like, everything will pop off little by little, which is fine. It's the right time for that to happen.
Yeah.
Listeners, it is a good day this Monday. Last Wednesday, the Jamaican people were asked to speak, and they spoke. And they spoke loudly and resoundingly to settle their argument about which party they want to represent them for the next 5 years. Some good men and women fell along the way on both sides. I think of Big Rob in Southeast St. Catherine. I think of Alan Bernard in West Central St. James as 2 of those who, Who? Oh, yes, what for? Warren Newby up in Northwest Clarendon, for sure. Yeah? Who fell, and we acknowledge their contribution. Kurt Wall, Dr. Kurt Wall. Oh yes, how could I forget? In Southwest St. Catherine. Yeah? But to the victor, the spoils. This morning, I've come to praise an individual. Yes, Tana. I've come to praise a man who, just by his very manner, it's easy for people to criticize him. And the man I'm praising this morning is none other than the 72-year-old Horace Anthony Chang. In the streets, I say Horace Chang. Horace Anthony Chang. November 30, 2012 is a significant date in the Labour Party. That's the date on which, was a Friday, that's the date on which Horace Anthony Chang stepped forward to contest the race for the title of General Secretary of the Jamaica Labour Party. In that race, Tawna, listeners, his rival was Joan Gordon Webley. 163 delegates were eligible to vote in that contest for officers in the JLP. When the votes were counted, Chang 86, Gordon Webley 58. What's the difference there? 28. How many bank accounts them say the Prime Minister have? 28. How many seats the PNP win in the election? 28. Should I stop? I think I should stop. All right. 28 votes separated them at the end. And Chang assumed the office of General Secretary. 1 year later, turmoil in the JLP. Remember, when he assumed office in 2012, this was after the chastening defeat of December 29, 2011 at the general election, when Portia power was too much for Andrew Holness. Andre Franklin was the General Secretary at the time. Labour Party pulverized. Chang took up the reins in 2012. 2013, turmoil, leadership challenge. Chang picked sides, something which the Audley Shaw team roasted him for, saying listeners, General Secretary ought to have remained impartial. He picked a side, he picked Holness. And after Holness won, his position was felt to be vulnerable. And so in the election for officers in 2013, November 2013, Gordon Webley came back, determined to become the first woman General Secretary of the JLP. Chang found 87 votes, got 87 votes. Gordon Webley got 60. Still not enough, and Chang held on. From that time till now, this Chinese man, and I can take certain liberties with the Chinese given my own family setup. This little Chinese man has presided over 5 election wins as CEO of the Jamaica Labour Party. 5. The local government election of November 2016, may have been November 28, 2016. The general election before that, February 25, 2016. The local government election of 2024, February 24, 2024. The general election, September 3, 2020. And now the general election, September 3, 2025. 5 elections Chang has won. Part of his secretariat for much, if not all of that period. And he must get an honorable mention. The Member of Parliament for South Central St. Catherine, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, a key part of that secretariat and a key lieutenant of Chang. But Dr. Wheatley will get his flowers. Today, it's Chang. And how has Dr. Horace Chang carried himself over that time? For those of you with short memories, or who can't go so far back, this is a man who has the distinction, along with Desmond and Babsy Grange, of serving 3 JLP prime ministers. Siaga, he was a member of cabinet, member of the leadership of the government between 80 and 89, when he was the member of parliament for Western Hanover. He served Bruce Golding, and now he's serving under Andrew Holness's leadership. Him not just come, has been around for a long time. That he has engineered a general election win, and then another general election win, and a local government election win, while being burdened by the post of National Security Minister, says a lot about the man. And you know how Jamaicans are. We like our heroes loud and brash. And we criticize Chang for not being loud and brash. He will never threaten to, nor dip up under anybody like some people. And because of this, we disregard Horace Chang's quality. Unlike some people who could start an argument in an empty room. Unlike some people who are bellicose to a fault. Chang, quiet, dignified. How many of you have ever heard Horace Chang give a speech and say, I will turn off the radio because you don't like how it sounds? I know why you pick me hear that. A study in dignity at all times. It proves dignity has a place in this society just the same. There is merit in being dignified. There is merit in having manners. That's what the Horace Chang supremacy is all about. There are 3 L's that I'm going to ask you to consider when you're thinking about Horace Chang. 3 L's. And that it is that Horace Chang is never loud. He's never lewd. And he never lie. Loud, lewd, lie. Now close your eyes and think how many of our politicians we can apply those 3 L's to. But not him. And look at his CV. There have been some name brand politicians who've been general secretaries of parties in this country. We don't have an election to stand on, because they never win any. And yet, if you were to engage in their argument, who's been the best general secretary of any party in this country by virtue of the wins that they've masterminded as CEOs of the party? Immediately, his name would not be one that jumps up. Yet, you bring your candidate for best general secretary ever, and I'll raise you Horace Chang, and then we go into why your selection is better than him based on his achievements. The election on Wednesday speaks to what Chang represents. In a country where we elevate the idiot to hero status, where the dunce has more followers than the educated, where the blatant fool and idiot have thousands running behind them, hanging on their every word, where those who are rude, out of order, and downright dangerous in the face of decency are the ones who are celebrated. Here is a man who goes about his work with dignity, respect, and integrity. And I'm committing the Horace Chang way to us in our daily lives. Thank God he's too old now to change, so I don't want to fret that these words will come back to bite me. At 72, yeah, I'm not going to change. There won't be any Damascene transformation in his demeanor or his conduct. And I think this election victory for the JLP, there have been many people who worked hard to help that party achieve it. But today it's about Chang, and I'm sure none of those listening will begrudge Dr. Horace Chang getting some flowers to smell this morning. An outstanding medical doctor, an outstanding party man, a peerless general secretary, and just a decent human being. Nothing is wrong with being decent. There's something wrong with being coarse and belligerent and always spoiling for a fight. Everywhere you go, your attitude pugnacious. Yeah? You're ready to take up arms. Somebody tell you morning, you want to tell them SYM. That is partly what Jamaicans voted against last week Wednesday. And as I leave, I say to the PNP that for a party that has given so much to Jamaica, for a party through which so many intellectuals, so many fine men and women have made their mark on Jamaica, a party still having fine men and women serving it to this day. A lot of the so-called vloggers especially, who attach themselves to your train, you can do better than them. Look around social media, look at most of those spreading the PNP message. Pure dunce them. Pure dunce. Yeah? And then you had some of them, dunce Monday, get a degree Tuesday, a bright Wednesday in their minds. The PNP deserves better cheerleaders. But today, this morning, I want history to record that it was this forum that praised the work and the character of a little man from Westmoreland, Member of Parliament elect, Northwest, St. James, Horace Chang. Take a bow, sir.